So thanks for agreeing to come and have this chat with me, Tanya.
You're very welcome, and I'm very pleased to be here with you from
Ah,
Testimonial, England, and live and direct from sunny Spain.
yes, yes. It's just
Covering the
slightly different climates we're in at the moment. So we're bringing these different energies forward and through. So I'd love to hear if you can cast your mind back to the pre-mesmerized days. What was going on in your life and in your business? Like how did things feel at that time?
Yeah, thank you. So I really noticed, and I'm just tuning into like the energies of. I always knew. I've known for a long time actually, and always had this knowing that I'm here to do something specific, and my grounding and my kind of core work has always been in like yoga, meditation, and inquiry. And also, I knew there was just this like undercurrent of I'm not quite reaching my full potential
Mm.
in this life, and in many ways. And for me, what was really showing up was being very scattered.
Yeah.
And so I had this sense of purpose. So it was never around trying to find my purpose. I was fairly clear on my purpose, as
Mm.
you've known. But
Mm.
it was just kind of like in this there's a bit there and there's a bit there and there's a bit there, and not really able to have the concentrated time to tune in, or b knowing what it would even look like if I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so it was there, but it was like there was no container to bring it together for me, and I
Mm.
didn't even know that was missing.
That's so interesting to hear that, yeah, you didn't even know it was
No.
missing. And you had this experience of like deep inner clarity around your purpose, but in terms of the manifestation of that out in the world, a very scattered
Yeah.
approach. And now you have literally just opened the doors to your magical offer, which we spent our one-to-one kind of refining, didn't we? And shaping up. Tell us about that experience of dreaming it up, creating and selling Alchemize.
Yeah. So for me, it felt like it was the kind of opposite of what I was doing before, which was just kind of going out in this kind of more survival energy into this space of just going, right, okay, I've all these gifts, I've processed all these life experiences, all these energies in my body, traumas, conditioning. I've really worked hard in this life to kind of polish my own self, and to bring that to other women I've been working with primarily. And then how do I want to bring this into one space
Mm.
for one experience, to in a sense of togetherness, and to create that sense. Really, for me, it's this reciprocal process of life. It's like what I teach, what I most need to learn, I share what I've most learned. And so it
Mm.
was a coming in and a learning, and then sharing with other women to come together through the tools of yoga nidra, which is my absolute love, as you know, like really tuning into the dream space of breath work, of circle work, but in a way that they can find a steadiness, which is what I found through Mesmerise. Was my experience, was the steadiness of practice, the steadiness of being together. And so from that like lived experience, it was very clear to me to kind of go, well, like, this is what I teach, this is what I have, I can bring to the world, these are my life experiences. And I've now been shown a way by you, by the other women in the circle that we're in at the moment, of bringing it together in a way that really nurtures and nourishes and enlivens other people.
Mm.
So it was almost like, it's like, well, it's happening to me. It would be such a waste of life not to share
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you saying at one point that it just had become, it felt so natural. Like there was the fear that had been there just sort of dissolved because it was like, of course,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. and let's talk about money. You know, my experience with money, like I was so like, you know, I was in the gift economy. I was giving away my work in many places because I had seen this, like, an experience scarcity, and I'd really got myself stuck, actually, as I now reflect, in a scarcity model. And I was invited very uncomfortably at the time to question that. And for me, stepping in, that was the biggest question. It was really like, ugh, I know I really want to do this. Like, every cell of my being was like, I want to step in. But it was a lot more than I'd ever paid before. And as part of that, you know, for me, it was, and I actually found my notes a few days ago, it was like, this is a gift for me to do my work in the world in a way that's sustainable. And I had a visualization when, probably about 2 hours before I stepped in, I think it was just before the doors closed, of, well, it's all this money. And actually what it became was just energy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that's totally shifted. And it's totally shifted in every element of my life now.
Wow. Well, I feel so moved hearing you talk about that, because I remember you shared with me very bravely, I love how honest you are, that when you first heard the price, you actually were angry at me.
Yeah. I was really cross. I was in gift economy. I was giving it away, and here was this price that I was like, what? How dare she? And, you know, and this, like, energy of privilege came up, you know, and so it was just like this real clearing. And to, you know, and for me to then really acknowledge my sense of worth in the world, and to shift my energy around money, because it is an exchange, opened up so many doors for me to gift my time in the areas where it's really truly needed now.
Exactly.
What's so beautiful about it
Yeah.
is it's opened doors for me to go to the places, like, really authentically, really sustained in myself, to be able to go and do that and gift freely my time where it's needed. So yeah, but it was bloody uncomfortable, I won't lie.
Yeah. And I remember, you know, I was like, message with conversations we were having in Messenger, and just what a courageous decision it was for you at that time to step in. How do you feel now about that decision?
Like, amazing. Yeah, it was just like, that was just the boop, okay, off you go. And what's interesting is, as I stepped into my work and as I became very clear on how to deliver my work, I was already clear on my work, but how to deliver it and bring it out into the world. I've been having similar conversations with other women about them stepping in to my immersion, alchemize, you know, to step into that space and go, yeah, well, what's your relationship with money? Where is the scarcity? Where is the lack? And so it's like, you know, this ongoing weaving of the story just is happening.
Exactly. The weaving of the story and the unweaving of the old stories that we don't need anymore. Everything we've attached to money made it mean that it simply doesn't. Such powerful transformations. Tell us a little bit about what you feel is unique or special about Mesmerise that is different to some of the other kind of get your work out in the world business programs.
It's real. It's as simple as that. It's real. You know, I've come to the space, as you know, raging, sobbing, laughing, you know, quiet, loud. You know, it's just, it's raw and it's real. And I love your inner witch, you know, that comes through, where there's just, because it resonates with me, you know, for me, it's like, yeah, I really get that energy of being able to see what kind of lies above or beneath the mind, the stories. And there's that kind of, you know, I see how you're like, I see that. And that's really hard to put into words, but just that, like, yeah, I feel seen. And
I'm loving this conversation.
I feel, yeah, I can feel myself welling up. I feel seen. I feel heard. And there's power in that. And there are few spaces in this crazy world we're living in right now that offer that. And you know, I remember saying in our last session, one of the inquiries I had, where is the love in all of the noise? And it's what you've helped me to create, and it's what I've seen in what you bring to the world. And
yeah, here is the love.
Here is the love. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's needed, and it's really needed now.
So needed now. Tell us about how it's like to experience that in a group of women who are also wanting to share their magic with the world at this time.
Oh, just powerful. It's really powerful. And what, you know, I always see in group dynamics when there are women that are willing to really feel and to really speak their truth is that we mirror. So often I'll come and you know, I might not say anything for a while, but what one woman says, I'll be like, And there's often this collective stuff that shows up.
Yeah.
Where we're like, yeah, I'm really feeling that.
Yeah.
I'm really noticing that right now in me when somebody else is sharing. It helps me personally really dive into deconstructing some of my old stuff when I hear someone give a different angle.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd love to hear your experience of working with Louise and her very wonderful magic. Like how is it for you to experience, and what's it meant for your life, for the flow of things, for your business?
Well, it comes back to what I said at the beginning about kind of like everything was out there scattered.
Yeah.
And Louise kind of does that.
Yeah.
Bring it in, give it a page number, give it a title, and you can refer to it. And I'm like, who knew you could do this? Such a simple thing that like has literally changed my life.
Yeah.
Just almost like, I can't believe I didn't know this before, and now I've got this process that I will use for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
To know what I'm doing each week, to know where I'm going, to be able to find things. I have literally, I don't know if you remember, I had a fire
Yes.
in the garden, and
Yeah.
I got all my notebooks and I'd gone through them, pulling out the bits I wanted to keep, and burnt a lot of them and just pulled it out and put it into some like format. I'm like, piles of notepads with reflections and inquiries and practices, and then it's just like, there it is.
Much more solid.
Yeah, solid. It's got grounding.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So Tanya, what would you say? Like, obviously the doors right now to Mesmerise are open. There are people who are probably in the place you were in of like, oh, my soul is saying yes, but it feels like a lot of money, or it feels scary. What would you say to someone who was in that uncomfortable perhaps place?
Yeah. Just do it. Just simply do it. You know, it's sit with the discomfort. You know, I would really say sit with the discomfort. Where's it coming from? Is it coming from a place of lack and scarcity? And if it is, you know, really to ask that question, are you willing to shift that? Because there's a reason why it comes up at a certain time for people.
Yeah.
And for some people, it will be like, I'm ready to shift that story.
Yeah.
For some people, they might not be ready.
Yeah.
And you know, for those that are really ready, and to listen to even the story, it's like, I'm not quite ready, is an old story as well. Is to know and trust it. From my experience, is that leap of faith. If there's a, you know, feeling beneath that story, tune into that as well. Because our bodies speak often louder than our minds. You know that, you know, for me, I was like, my body was like, yes. My mind was going, judging. My body was going, yes. And you know, I'm one of you know, a circle of women doing this work. And you know, I just think, you know, to have other energy in there would be amazing, because it just it invites us to journey into a different little corner of the, you know, a different little space.
Yeah. The different edges.
Edges, and to feel, you know, and it's and the overarching question, excuse me, which is, what are you waiting for?
Right.
Because we don't have time now to kind of go, well, I think I'll do it next year, because there is such a shift happening right now. And was it the Dalai Lama said that Western women are needed to heal the world, and I really feel that we have quite often the energy and potential that maybe, you know, other women might not be able to access. And also by being able to feel, to be able to come into that space and bring our sensitivities to shift and change the stories, because the stories are really getting dismantled right now. It's time.
It's happening.
It's happening, and it's like, where do you go if you don't step in? Where do you go into that scattered, like, voidy space? Or make a commitment to self and to planetary healing, to create change at a time. It's
What an absolutely beautiful, heartfelt answer. Thank you so much for all you shared, and for the woman that you are, and that you've worked so hard to allow yourself to be a full expression of. Tell us a bit about your work and where people can find you if they're like, who is this woman? I want to hear more.
Yeah, so my work is, well, as you know, we've got Alchemize, which the doors of my Alchemize are currently closed until next year. And so that is a 10-month journey for women to really tune into what their gifts are through the practice of yoga, through deep rest. Like, for me, my message to the world is everything comes from rest. And so I weave that through with retreats. Next year will be workshops, in one-to-ones, and in gatherings, and just really, you know, inquiring from that place of rest, and in the lucid dream space, that space between worlds where, as I see it, many of the answers are.
100%. And what's your group name if people want to come and hang out?
My group is Rest and Reclaim. Rest and reclaim the parts of ourselves that we may be lost along the way, and claim new parts. And my site is tanyaforgan.com, which we can pop down.
Beautiful. We had such fun naming Rest and Reclaim, didn't we? It was a whole group process.
It's been brilliant.
Is there anything else that you would like to take this opportunity to say?
Just that I'm really grateful to have you in my life, actually, as a woman that's showing me, you know, all these different ways of being. And I love your witchiness and your, you know, there's the professional side that I see, you know, the deep knowledge, but also this deep wisdom that often don't marry together. And so, I'm really grateful for the unique you that you bring into the space.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take that right in.
Breathe it in.
Right in and feel it. Okay, so we'll draw this to a close. So if you're watching along with us on Facebook, please give Tanya some likes and loves and hearts, and we'll say bye for now. And I'm going to end the recording too. Thank you again, Tanya. Bye for now. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.